being proactive and
I was only at the post office. I couldn't get right away.
All in order. So just kind of recap, council spent 3 hours this afternoon going over our first step of the budget. And a lot of good questions asked. I was really impressed with the fact that the full 3 hours got consumed with questions about what was going on in the budget. And thank you to the number of staff that were here and everybody was able to get answers and clarifications on what is going on. So really appreciate that. I do need a mover and a seconder to reconvene back into open session at this time. Moved by Councilor Deal, second by Councilor Wilby. But the council of the municipality of Huron East reconvene into open session at 6:01 p.m. All those in favor? And motion carries. And reporting out, council went into the closed session to discuss a matter of potential litigation which is subject to solicitor-client privilege. And we would like to acknowledge that the land we stand upon today is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the neutral peoples. Can I get a mover and a seconder for confirmation of the agenda, please? Moved by Councilor Chartrand, second by Councilor Stepler, that the agenda for the regular meeting of council dated March 19th of 2024 be adopted as circulated. All those in favor? And motion carries. Is there any disclosure or pecuniary interest by any member of council at this time? Seeing none, can I get a mover and a seconder for the minutes of the previous meeting? Moved by Councilor Deal, second by Councilor Morrison, that the council of the municipality of Huron East approve the following council meeting minutes as circulated. That's the regular meeting of March 5th of 2024 and the Committee of Adjustment public hearing from March 5th of 2024. Is there any comments or questions on those minutes? All those in favor? And motion carries. We have a number of items under the consent agenda. Is there anything there that council wants pulled to discuss? Councillor Wilby.
I'd like to pull 8.5 to, return, Roma and Good Roads to the same group.
Okay, thank you. And Deputy Mayor?
Second that, please.
Oh, second that, okay. Um, I'm not sure how we proceed with this one. I don't have the same opinion. But, so I guess the question is, how did you want to respond?
I think it's beneficial to, at the meeting at Roma, to be able to go to a Good Roads meeting. I could use it for, the group that I'm with, Chips, so.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I also think it's beneficial if they combine the two. I mean, in the past, sometimes there wasn't always good topics there, if you were just there for the Roma session. And also too, you have to look at the cost savings as well. One convention, basically. I'm not sure if they build them out separately or not. We have one convention, one weekend, or whatever it is, one transportation down and back. I think it's a good cost savings for municipalities if we can both of them at the same time. And also too, you have the ability, if you miss a session, you can still catch it on Zoom or something like that as well.
Yeah, I do appreciate the fact that, if you've got members that go to both, it certainly is a cost savings from that standpoint. And I wasn't sure what was going to be the result when they separated the two conferences. But, I can't speak to the Good Road side of it, but certainly I thought the Roma side of it improved greatly after they had split, because it seemed like they were putting a lot more effort into the rural, municipal side of it once it had split up, because it actually was the Good Road side that was putting the whole conference on, and Roma was kind of a guest there. So I guess it depends on if they're gonna put it back together. I guess it depends on who's in control and how they're actually operating. But personally, I thought the Roma became better when it had to stand on its own 2 feet. But I do appreciate the comment that if you got members going to both, it'll be cheaper to have one conference, that's for sure. Councillor Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I never went to the combined one, but with 1,800 people at Roma this year, where would they be able to fit the combined one and not have chaos?
That's a good point.
That's my only thought. Thank you.
Yeah, how do we proceed with this if we don't have, I guess the question is, do we take a vote on a consensus of whether we agree or disagree with putting them together?
We have a mover or seconder, and I think it's just a support that they go back to the same conference. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we have a motion asking for support to go back to one conference. All those in favor? Motion carries. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to pull and support 8.1, the National Suicide and Crisis Hotline. Anytime you can support something like that, bring emphasis on it, it's a good thing. I'd like to support that one.
Do we need a motion for that?
Yeah, it would be a separate need to support that.
Okay, second by Councillor Deal. Any questions? All those in favor? Is there anything else that anybody wanted pulled from the package? Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, on 8.11, accounts payable summary. Account number 7540 funds, talking about moving expenses. Can I get that explained or at some point in time, or do you want to report back?
I can report back.
Okay.
Okay, so
8.2 to 8.4 and 8.6 to 8.12 to the consent agenda.
did I already get moved in a second?
Not for the consent agenda. We've done the two separate motions, but not for the full consent.
Moved by Councillor Chartrand, second by Councillor Deal. That the consent agenda items 8.2 to 8.4, 8.6 to 8.10, and 8.12 included, be received for information and approved. All those in favor? And motion carries. Thank you. We are down to number 8, meetings, hearings, and delegations. And first delegation is Don and Dale Chestner, Frank and Mary Stretton, Tyler and Jade Campbell, and a request for full paving on Holiday Street in Brussels. Welcome, and who is the spokesperson? Welcome, come up to the podium, please.
Where do you want me?
Just,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm new to this game, so
sorry.
give me a bit of allowance. And I don't know what the procedures are and who goes first or second or third. and that sort of thing, so.
You go first. So a delegation is just to come to present their information, and then we receive the information.
So my understanding is that everybody here received a copy of what I submitted. So are you wanting me to read that?
Absolutely not. You, I'm hoping, I certainly read it. I hope all of council read it, and I suspect they did. You may, if you want, read it. It's your choice. It's your time. Or if you want, you can just verbalize the discussion with us or your comments with us.
Okay, if everybody's read it, then we'll cut to the chase. I put in, so you know where I'm coming from, and I don't know where I'm going with this, but, regarding our property, the street in front of our property, it's been 23 years. And I did make a mistake on the first information that I sent. I said that, the amalgamation of all the different places to form, Huron East, happened in 1999. That was a mistake. It was 2001. So I just wanted to correct that. So I have some concerns about everything that I've indicated to you. And because I'm new at this, and I don't know what the outcome will be, and you probably don't know either at this point, but I need to have some questions answered. So I'll go ahead, and if you don't like me doing that, stop me, and somebody start the clock, I guess. First of all, who's in charge of this situation that we're asking about? We don't know who's going to be in charge of this thing, whether it's going to be council by itself. So who will make the final decision on a request? Will it be Huron East council members alone? Or will it be just councillors from Brussels? Or will it be dealt with solely by a member of Huron East staff? Somebody that's paid by the hour to work for you guys. Or does this job entail hiring an engineer? Or does this require hiring an outside company that's proficient in paving roads, etc.? So will the decision of on this request be handled in an autocratic manner or with proper input? That's one of my main concerns about this is who's gonna take this on and do it the right way so that it's done the right way? Because I don't wanna lose out on this, and I don't want people working on this situation if they don't know what they're doing. I'll make this is probably a little bit past, but before I saw all these other people here, I wrote, I'm concerned about the 10-minute allowance to speak to council as it caused me to think that that's me and my two neighbors who couldn't make it tonight. One is sick with cancer. The other one just got back from Florida and has children to look after. And it makes me think that we're in a David and Goliath situation, fighting against Huron East. As a homeowner, I don't get the feeling that I'm welcome, but rather an outsider facing the Huron East system. I have a few more comments. I have often heard during my lifetime that we have always done it that way. That may be true, but sometimes you have to change. So, however, some things have to be changed even if you're stuck in the mud. We've had 23 years, my wife and I, and 23 years or more of deferred put off. We hate to see projects that continue to get kicked down the road time after time. There will never be a good time to pave our street. It will be the best time, as in the future, all things will end up more expensive. And one of the pictures did you see the pictures?
Yes.
Okay, I did all that so that those that wouldn't go to check out the scenery in front of our place and what our road looks like would have a bit of an idea of what we're dealing with all the time. And it's a very perturbing that this has gone on so many years. And it makes me wonder who is running parts of this Huron East that was amalgamated in 2001. Do we have somebody that looks after roads and highways or that sort of thing? Or, you know, what kind of a situation am I looking at as a person? I don't normally come to these meetings. I read about you guys in the paper. But I just don't want to go out of here with the wrong idea or the wrong feelings, but I need people that are going to attack this in the proper way. And that's what I'm here to say. I don't want to be jerked around in any way, and we're not interested in things that are, you know, as I said on my first document that you've already read, myself and my neighbor, we're not interested in something being told to us like the present federal government and the provincial government and local governments tell us, oh yeah, we're gonna do that. And a year later, it hasn't happened, and 10 years later, it hasn't happened, and in our case, 23 years later, it hasn't happened. And that road was there before we bought our property in 23. So this is what I'm facing, and I'm not trying to be forceful about it, but I have to be as forceful as I think it requires so that you people understand that there's a lot of things I need answers to and before I can actually get on with my life. And I'd like your help with it. So I've got more papers here if you want copies of everything I just said. If somebody wants a copy, didn't get one, I'll get it to you. I guess that's my story, and I'm counting on you guys to make sure this injustice gets fixed once and for all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. Do I have a motion by a member of council at this time? Councilor Morrison.
I'd make the motion that we receive the delegation for information, and then we also, on top of that, direct the Director of Public Works to bring council back a report on what it would take to do anything with that road. Because we can't make a decision without the information, so I would say we get that information and see where we go from there.
Okay, thank you. Second by Councilor Chartrand. Any comments or questions? Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Dawn. Dawn, was that road, was it ever tar and chipped or was it always just gravel?
No, if my neighbor Frank was here, he's a former member of council, he could tell you that was the original road coming in and out of Brussels. And when they put in the new, called a highway, paved road, the little road we're on, I don't know what happened. I think sewers got put in maybe. I don't know all these things.
No.
You guys should have records on it, so you should be able to tell me. But anyway, the road never got paved. Period. And it's been 23 years. And as I said in my notes, I had one of your men out there and one of the counselors came out to see what the problem was. We couldn't get out of the driveway because all the sand and stuff that was being pushed down. We were afraid that people visiting us and ourselves, we're gonna lose the mufflers off our vehicles. So that's all I can tell you about it. All we get now is sand, potholes, you name it. I mean, I could go on forever, but does that give you an idea of what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I drove past there. I used to work for McNeil's Odd Body for 20 years. I drove by that road. I used to think that it was tar and chipped. There was some sort of hard surface there. But like I said, I didn't know for sure.
Well, all I can say is it was the main road into Brussels. And, you know, the other road wasn't there. You came along and you had to curve like that to get into Brussels. And at that time, my understanding was it was paved. And then when they put the sewers in or something to that effect, which I wasn't around to see, it never got paved after that. And nobody from, you know, previous councils, for starters, or from the, you know, the councils since 2023, I got the right date, have been able to do anything. And we've been sitting like, you know, little birds on a fence wondering when is this ever gonna happen? So this is why I'm here. I hope that answers your question.
That you did. So thank you very much for bringing it to our attention.
Okay, thank you.
And just to share one other thing, Don, with the report that was requested this evening, once council has that information, it'll be shared with you also.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Oh, we have none. Okay,
We have a mover and a seconder, but we didn't.
all those in favor of the motion? And motion carries. Thank you. Okay, our second delegation for this evening, Sandra Malady, Huron East Fire Department. Welcome.
Good evening, council members and guests. I'm Sandra Malady, and I'm here to voice some questions and concerns of residents of the Huron East. Number one, Seabrook Fire Department already has a system in place for buying and replacing SCBA's, which are self-contained breathing apparatuses, as they are needed while keeping them in current with the NFPA National Fire Protection Association standards. Why would Huron East waste almost $250,000 to force an unnecessary change to a system that works? My second thing is the Seaforth Fire Department recruitment procedure must be streamlined to fill vacant positions immediately. These vacancies negatively affect the health and safety of all Huron East residents. Number three, Huron East needs to reinstate the Fire and Area Board to be the voice at council for the 70+ firefighters in this region. This ensures issues like replacing SCBA's prematurely and hazardous staffing shortages will not happen. Council's decision to disband this Fire and Area Board is already negatively affecting Huron East residents. Last one is I would like to please explain exactly what the roles and responsibilities of the CAO, council members, and all town hall personnel are. It was needlessly difficult to get to this opportunity to voice our questions and concerns, especially considering some of our concerned residents, like myself, have been taxpayers in this community for more than 30 years. This is unacceptable. Thank you for your time. We expect a response to all of our questions and concerns by Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. Thank you.
A motion on that board to receive that information.
We usually have motions with delegation.
We asked for a report. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so, next we are down to 9.3, public meeting rezoning bylaw amendment Z01 of 2024. So can I get a mover and a seconder to adjourn the regular meeting? Moved by Councillor Deal, second by Deputy Mayor, that the council of the municipality of Huron East adjourn the regular meeting of the council at 6:20 p.m. 6:21 p.m. to go into a public meeting to discuss the following. Zoning bylaw amendment Z01 of 2024. All those in favor? And all those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. And then can I get a mover and a seconder for the agenda for the public? Moved by Councillor Deal, second by Councillor Newell, that the agenda for the public meeting dated March 19th of 2024 be adopted as circulated. All those in favor? And motion carries. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest from any member of council for this portion of the meeting? Seeing none. And clerk to read the meeting provisions.
So just be advised that the following provisions are contained in Ontario Regulation 545.06, Section 511.5. One, that if a person or public body would otherwise have an ability to appeal the decision of the council of the municipality of Huron East to the local planning appeal tribunal, but the person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the municipality before the bylaws pass, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision. And two, if a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the municipality before the bylaws are passed, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal to the tribunal unless in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to do so.
Okay, thank you. Shay, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just let Jessica let my report. So this presentation is for zoning bylaw amendment Z01/2024. It applies to 80196 Beechwood Line in St. Columban. The owner, sorry, I mixed those two up there. The owner of the property here is Ashby Farms. Joe Broom is the representing agent, and then the applicant is Baker Planning Group, and Caroline Baker is representing. I believe Caroline is on the call with us today, so to answer any questions as well. Next slide, please. So the purpose of the application here is to permit an agriculture-related commercial use on a portion of the property. The proposed use is a dealership and warehouse to sell equipment for chicken and hog farmers. The whole subject property is outlined in blue on the air photos there, and the area subject to rezoning is shaded in green, and this is the south portion of the property. So surrounding land uses here include residential uses to the east, which is St. Columban, agriculture uses to the north and west, and the lands directly south are used for a commercial industrial trucking company. Next slide, please. So the subject lands are designated agriculture and urban in the official plan and zoned AG1, general agriculture, and R1 in the zoning bylaw. The property is approximately 96 acres in size and used currently for cropping. It has frontage on both Beechwood Line and Highway 8. The zoning amendment here applies to the southern 4 acres of the property, which is within the settlement area of St. Columban. And the application proposes to change the R1 zoning to a special C3 highway commercial zone and change the AG1 zoning to a special AG3 agriculture commercial industrial zone. A dual zone is proposed as part of this amendment as the subject area spans across 2 different designations. Next slide. So I just included the amended key map here, which depicts the proposed zone changes from R1 to C3 and AG1 to AG3. Next slide. So I've included the proposed special provisions for both of the proposed zones. These special provisions would limit the use to an agriculture service establishment, agricultural supply establishment, or farm equipment sales. And it would also require an enhanced interior side yard to the east property line of 10 meters where it abuts the residential lot there, as well as a planting strip along this lot line to further promote compatibility with this abutting. The proposal is considered to be compatible with surrounding land uses and does not negatively impact any neighboring agriculture operations. The use is not considered to be an industrial use and no on-site manufacturing is proposed. So it meets the Ministry of Environment compatibility guidelines. And the proposal was also supported by a traffic impact study, which indicated traffic would operate at acceptable levels, as well as a functional servicing report indicating the site can be adequately serviced with private well and septic system, as well as an on-site stormwater management plan. And lastly, the proposal was reviewed against official plan policies for both the agriculture and urban designations and meets all of the full criteria. The proposed use will cater to the needs of local livestock farming operations and benefits from this central location in relation to farming operations in both Huron and Huron County. Next slide. So here I've just included the site plan for the proposed use provided by the applicant. It shows the proposed building and parking area with on-site stormwater management facility located in the northwest corner of the lot. The site will have a single access off of Beechwood Line, and I'll also note that the proposed use will be subject to site plan control. Next slide. So no concerns were raised from members of the public or hearing staff in advance of the public meeting. The applicant has engaged in pre-consultation with MTO, who reviewed the traffic impact study and are satisfied with the proposed entrance location, and they've indicated support of the proposed amendment. Next slide. So just a few photos of the subject property, standing on Beechwood Line here, looking towards the area subject to rezoning. Next slide. And then the first image here shows the abutting residential lot to the east of the property, and the second image shows the neighboring trucking company across the road in Huron County. Next slide. So as a result of the review mentioned, the zoning bylaw amendment Z01/2024 is recommended for approval and the corresponding bylaw is passed.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from members of council on this property? Councilor Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To shape, please, what's the separation between the building and the residents on the east?
Currently, I believe it's about 50 meters.
50, so for me, that's 160 feet, okay.
Caroline Baker might be able to
That's fine, that's fine.
more accurately, but
Is there not, we've had this property before us a couple other times.
yes,
Is there
so,
not a hog barn in the vicinity of this? Or did they tear it down?
there's no nearby hog barns that I'm aware of on site.
I thought the Croons had a hog barn near this property. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments from council or questions? Seeing none, any comments or questions from a member of the public about this property? Seeing none, any comments or questions from the applicant, or Caroline Baker speaking on behalf of the applicant? Welcome, Caroline.
Good evening, Mayor McClellan. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. My name's Caroline Baker. I'm a land use planner with Baker Planning Group. Certainly, good evening to those in attendance and here on East Council. Ms. Stoll provided a very comprehensive overview of the application. I just wanted to add a few just additional notes on the use and maybe answer the questions from council. So certainly the use is considered an agricultural related commercial use supported by provincial policy and the OMAFRA guidelines. The use, just for greater clarity, is proposed to operate during regular business hours, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're envisioning approximately 5 employees that would support area farmers who are coming to order new equipment for their livestock operations and any certainly support that they need. We've worked through a detailed site plan with a civil engineer to ensure it can be serviced, that stormwater management can be addressed, and there is sufficient off-street parking. Certainly, extensive consultation with the Ministry of Transportation has been undertaken to receive their support, given this is on an MTO corridor. With respect to the 2 comments received, currently on the site plan, there is a separation of approximately 108 meters from the proposed building to the residential to the east on the current site plan. With respect to area livestock facilities, there's none in the immediate vicinity, but this portion of the site uniquely is in the settlement area of St. Columban. The remaining farm to the north is outside that area, and certainly because it's already in the settlement area, it would already be considered for MDS calculations for surrounding livestock. So certainly in conclusion here to answer any questions of council, but I am in agreement with my planning opinion with county planning staff to recommend approval of the zone change. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. So there will be a recommendation will be presented during the regular meeting of council, let me resume. So can I get a mover and a seconder that this portion of the meeting be closed? Moved by Councilor Deal, second by Councilor Dalton, that the public meeting for zoning bylaw amendment be closed at 6:32 p.m. All those in favor? And motion carries. So under planning, we go to 10.1, recommendation zoning bylaw amendment Z01 of 2024. Can I get a mover and a seconder for the motion that was in the package? Moved by Councilor Wilby, second by Councilor Dalton. Deal. Whereas the Council of the Municipality of Huron East has held a public meeting pursuant to section 34, paragraph 12 of the Planning Act 1990 with respect to the proposed zoning bylaw 21 of 2024. And whereas no public comments were received on this application, and whereas no agency comments were received on this application, now therefore pursuant to section 34, paragraph 18 of the Planning Act of 1990, Council concurs with the March 14, 2024 planning report and recommends bylaw 21 of 2024 for approval. All those in favor? And motion carries. Under 10.2, planning report, part lot control, tripod properties, C4. Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Shay, thank you.
Yes, so this is just a brief presentation for part lot control exemption SC 01/2024. The subject property is 57 George Street, East of Seaport, and the owner and applicant is Tripod Properties. Next slide. So the subject property is designated residential and zoned R1 low density residential. The subject property, a semi-detached dwelling has already been built on the subject property. It replaces the previous single detached residence that you see on the aerial photo there. It's just not updated. My apologies. Next slide, please. So the purpose of the application is to request the land to be exempt from part lot control to allow the creation of 2 conveyable lots, each with a dwelling unit. Both units have separate water and sewer services, as well as individual hydro and gas meters for each respective unit is shown on the photos there. Next slide, please. Reference plan was reviewed by staff and the proposal meets the minimum zoning bylaw requirements for a semi-detached unit, and staff had no outstanding concerns with the proposal. Next slide, please. So therefore, it's recommended that part lot control exemption application be approved and the bylaw be passed with an expiry date of June 30th, 2024.
Are there any questions of council on this? The only question I had is, it seems like a very short time frame for it to expire. Is there any reason for that?
Yeah, so our standard has been 3 months, which has been an adequate time for the lawyer to register the deed. The June 30th date was actually requested by the lawyer. So they feel that's a satisfactory time to get the deed registered.
Okay.
But
Thank you. Over in a second for this, please. Moved by Councillor Deal, second by Councillor Fisher, that the council of the municipality of Huron exempt lot 117, reference plan 393 from part lot control pursuant to section 50, paragraph 7 of the Planning Act, and that bylaw 19 of 2024 be passed with an expiry date of June 30th of 2024. All those in favor? And motion carries. We have nothing under municipal drains tonight. Number 12, reports and recommendations of municipal officers. And 12.1, of the Brussels Farmers Market. Is there anybody have any questions on that? Seems pretty straightforward. I'm gonna ask the same question. When the question was raised earlier about trying to get like the farm breakfast under our insurance policy, is that why this is a municipal event also? To be able to cover the run?
Yeah, because it's our property and the sanction, the same thing. So as long as the activities happen in our property, we should be able to make that request as a municipal sanctioned event.
But we don't charge them anything for it, right? We just cover it. Okay. Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Morrison, second by Councillor Newell, that the council of the municipality of Huron East support the Brussels Farmers Market taking place between June 7th and August 30th, 2024 at 589 Turnberry Street, Brussels, as a municipally sanctioned event. All those in favor? And motion carries. 12.2, EDO 24-05, application to My Main Street. Our economic development officer was wanting to put in an application. I'd be surprised if we turn that down. But did anybody have any questions for Tara Lynn at this time? Councillor Morrison.
On the report, it says that the downtown will be from 625 Turnberry, that's 490 Turnberry. Isn't 490 at the corner of Go Video, like it's the Foodland corner there? That would only be half of downtown Brussels,
It should be,
unless I got my address wrong.
unless I have the wrong number in there. It should be from JR's restaurant to the dollar store.
Yeah.
So I'd have to look back. That might be my mistake, but
If that's the case, but I don't know.
that's what's designated kind of our main street.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you to Chair Lynn. What was the amount of the grant?
Yeah, so we're looking at about 90,000 to apply for. We can apply for a maximum of 250,000.
Okay.
But right now I'm totaling kind of everything, and it's looking to be probably between 90,000 and 100,000.
Okay, thank you.
Is this the one where if we get the grant, the municipality is only paying like 15,000 or something like that?
No, this one is 100% covered. If we get the grant, my main street does fund the full amount. It funds, the whole project. So this is a grant that we don't want to miss out on. Unfortunately, I can only apply for one downtown. So I cannot apply for both Seaforth and Brussels. The Seaforth BIA can apply for Seaforth Main Street, but I can't do an umbrella and include both.
Right. Even though we have one CIP now?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I can move in a second. Moved by Jeff, second by Justin, that the council of the municipality of Huron East to support the application to My Main Street for streetscape improvements in downtown Brussels. Deputy Mayor.
Just one more question. Caroline just stirred something there. So are you helping the BIA from Seaforth, or have they reached out to you, or vice versa?
Yeah, so they've reached out to me. I'm only one person and I can only do one application. I did offer to, like, if they wanted to work on an application, I'm happy to read it and offer suggestions, but I can't do both.
No.
It's a very large application. There's a lot of questions, and it's gonna be tight getting one in by the end of March, so.
Thank you.
Councillor Chartrand.
Yes, through you, Chair. So if we're successful in getting this $90,000, it's not in this report, but do you have specific things that you're gonna spend it on already?
Yeah, so we're looking at street furniture. So the waste receptacles in downtown Brussels need to be replaced. Right now we have I think there's about 6 old wooden waste receptacles that are either covered in graffiti or chipping away. So we're looking at replacing those, as well as there's some black steel bins, and they're all rusted in the bottom, and the bottoms are actually starting to fall out. And I know the public works staff have repaired them in the past, but it's getting kind of beyond repair. So we're looking at replacing those, looking at adding some accessible picnic tables. Right now, there's nowhere to actually sit and eat in downtown Brussels, aside from the cafe the outside cafe at Purple Bay Cafe. So we're looking at adding those, as well as more benches. I had a look at the current benches in Brussels, and they're all peeling. It doesn't look like they've been stained for quite a while, and they're just, I don't know how old they are, but I think it's time they were replaced. So all of those things, we're looking at replacing them with a recycled plastic. Something that's gonna last, well, I mean, they guarantee them for 50 years, so we're looking at like a long time anyway, before we have to look at replacing those. It also includes automatic door openers for businesses. So when I was walking downtown, I kind of made note of what businesses would be fully accessible with just an automatic door opener, and there's actually quite a few. So quite a few of the businesses are actually level with the sidewalk right now. So looking at adding those as well. And there's just some other things. There is no light in the parkette downtown. And there actually is a fixture there, but it would be replacing that. So I guess it's an old solar light that was there, so looking at replacing that so that parkette would be lit at night, because just the way the buildings are, it blocks the streetlights. So yeah, those are a few things. I know I've been in touch with the Horticultural Society. They're still deciding whether they want to get in on this and add new flower baskets. Street light banners. We don't have any spring or summer streetlight banners in Brussels, so we'll be adding those. We also have poles on either side of the bridge that they were put up for a banner to go across the road, similar to what Seaforth has. But there hasn't been a banner up there for quite some time, so we'll be getting one of those as well. So yeah, there's lots of different things. I've been in touch with the Horticultural Society, the Brussels Lions Club, the Leo's Club, just trying to get kind of their wish list and kind of tackle it if we can. So.
Thanks.
Councillor Stefan.
Yes, Carolyn, is this a staggered approval? Just noticing that the March 31st deadline and the opening for is April 1st for notification.
So it's, that's what they had in the guidelines. So they are not reviewing any applications until the end of March.
Okay.
That's what I was told. So they have like, I think the notification is like from beginning of April till the end of May. Like it's a pretty long window. So my guess is that they're gonna notify us at the end of May. But yeah, they're not looking at any applications until that March 31st deadline passes. So.
Just one last question, and I think it said that the money all had to be spent by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And is there any problem with getting any of the items that you're talking about purchasing, whether it be the furniture, the trash cans, anything else?
Yeah, not at this time. I've been in touch with quite a few suppliers and they seem to be fine with that timeline, so.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Should check these off. Okay. Barry?
We've got it for this one.
All those in favor of the motion? And motion carries. Thank you. And our EDO also has another application. Can I get a mover and a seconder for it at this point? Moved by Councilor Deal, second by Councilor Wilby. That the council of the municipality of Huron East support the application to SLED for a series of videos to promote the Huron East manufacturing sector and the employment opportunities. Are there any comments or questions for Carolyn on this one? All those in favor? And then motion carries. For the correspondence. The only one I see is for the dinner with Lisa and Ben. At the moment, I'm gonna say I'm gonna make it, and I do appreciate going to this dinner. It's usually a well intended event on all the commodities, and with the deputy mayor be the second name.
Okay, so you go unless somebody else wants to.
If I can't make it, I will certainly be coming back to council, because I think having two representatives there is a really good thing. So can I get a mover and a seconder to accept this? Moved by Councilor Stepler, second by Deputy Mayor. That both myself and the Deputy Mayor attend the MPP local politician forum on Friday, April 5th, 2024 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Clinton Legion on behalf of the municipality of Huron. All those in favor? And motion carries. I have nothing under unfinished business. I'm down to council reports, so I return to the Deputy Mayor for County Council.
Thank you. So in our last county council meeting, he was awarded with an award, a community leadership award by Bruce Power. The Huron County Historical Society and Heritage Partners, they made a presentation about a business plan. They're looking for some support on that. They presented a plan where some of the artifacts and antiques that are kept in garages there could be sent out to some satellite locations for viewing, like at libraries and things like that. Kind of a hub and spoke idea. They're just trying to get the word out, get the antiques out, artifacts out, stuff like that, so people can see it. And also just for viewing and education as well. County budget, we did pass that with a 5.54 increase year over year. And the final thing was the tender was let for the Wingham Patrol Yard reconstruction. It was awarded to Alvin Construction, the same company that did the expansion at the BMG Arena.
Are there any other boards, committees, meetings, or seminars that anybody has to report on this? Seeing none, are there any requests by members? Any notices of motion at this time? Any announcements? Councilor Stepler.
Yeah, just update from the Seafoot Homecoming. That's in Civic Holiday next year. There was gonna be a monthly podcast coming out from filming. I sent the first one to Tara Lynn just for distribution. It's all about the history and what's been going on in Seafoot the last 150 years, and just have a listen to it, and should be a good thing that lives on past homecoming in a year and a half.
Where would you hear the podcast?
Spotify, Apple Music, any of the things, I'll give you, like, I can send out a link, or Tara Lynn has the link as well.
Perfect.
Just about a half hour to 40 minute, once a month of happenings in Seaford.
Councillor Wilby.
Yeah, I should have said this at the last council meeting. There was a number of us walked for the
Coldest night.
coldest night of the year. And so we had the deputy mayor, he did a really good speech, and we had Councillor Fisher and myself. And then we also had several staff members from town hall here, and then we did fairly well with the group raising money, so thanks to everyone who came out and helped out.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements at this time? Seeing none, motion from the Water and Sewer Committee, Housing and Water System Fund. Can I get a mover and seconder for that, please? Moved by Councillor Dalton, or something. Okay, I got you. Second by Councillor Chartrand. I should get everyone to turn their name when it's worded. That the Council of the Municipality of Huron East support the application to the Housing Enabling Water System Fund for the Seaport Sewage Treatment Plant Expansion. Comments or questions? All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. 16.2, Water and Sewer Committee Bylaw 2024. Can I get a mover and a second, please? Deputy Mayor and Councillor Wilby, that the Council of the Municipality of Huron East accept the amended bylaw number 20 of 2024 for the regulatory regulation of potable water supply. All those in favor?
Question, Mr. Mayor, please.
Yes, go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, to Jessica, I guess would be, was quite excited. 3.3, I thought I heard something about water meters. In 6.6, I heard something about water meters again, but I never heard a darn thing about installing water meters. Is there anything at all going forward about your C4 having water meters instead of flat rate?
There is not at this time, and the discussion again and again is that to not want to have to put that cost onto the taxpayer, because at the end of the day, the whole system is divided up based on the usage we have. So if everybody had to pay $1,000 at each household, put a water meter in, yes, there might end up being a little more equitable at the end of the day for anybody that's a high volume user. But the same amount of dollars have to be raised to cover the cost of the system. So everybody would still technically be paying all the exact same plus an extra $1,000 on top. Although if we do have someone that's got multiple apartments or anything else, we certainly are pushing to have that done.
But consumption would drop, costs would drop, environmental, et cetera, green should be looked at, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, I'll pass that on to the committee.
Yeah, again.
Number 17, bylaw
So you have to actually pass the vote for that motion. We only got to move in a second.
all those in favor? Motion carries. Bylaw number 19, can I get a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Councillor, you're on there all night long. Councillor Chartrand and Councillor Stefan. That be it hereby resolved that bylaw 19 of 2024, a bylaw to exempt certain lands from part lot control, be given first, second, third, and final readings, signed by the mayor and the clerk, and the seal of the corporation be affixed thereto. All those in favor? Motion carried. And a mover and a seconder for bylaw. I think we did bylaw 22.
And that way we can pass the bylaw.
It was just kind of endorsed.
Okay, mover and a seconder for bylaw 20. Councillor Staffler and Councillor Wilder. That be it hereby resolved that bylaw 20 of 2024, a bylaw to regulate potable water supply and repeal bylaw 77 of two thousand and five be given first, second, third, and final readings, signed by the mayor and the clerk, and the seal of the corporation be affixed thereto. All those in favor? Motion carries. A mover and a seconder for bylaw 21. Deputy Mayor. Councillor Deal. That be it hereby resolved that bylaw 21 of 2024, a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw 52 of 2006, be given first, second, third, and final reading, signed by the mayor and the clerk, and the seal of the corporation be affixed thereto. All those in favor? And motion carries. And a mover and a seconder for bylaw 22, is a confirming bylaw. Moved by Councillor Newell, second by Councillor McGrath, that be it hereby resolved that bylaw 2024, a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council be given first, second, third, and final readings, signed by the mayor and the clerk, and the seal of the corporation be affixed thereto. All those in favor? Motion carries. And a mover and a seconder for adjournment. Moved by Councillor Fisher, second by Councillor Dalton, the time now being 6:54 PM, that the regular meeting do now adjourn until April 2nd, 2024 at 6 PM. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thanks for giving us